Do they make pony visors? Is everybody ready to go? All right, Coach.
Okay, playing a very good opponent in Ole Miss, another top 10 team on the road. They played very well at home. They knocked off the #1 team in the country at the time at their house. Great defense. They've only allowed 7 touchdowns in 8 games, which is it really stands out. And also their defense has scored 4 touchdowns, so that definitely stands out. I think they've created 24 turnovers, so obviously that's got to be a focus of us protecting the football. That'll be a big factor in the game. Very good on offense. They have a senior quarterback, has a lot of experience. He throws the ball extremely well. He's a very nifty runner in all of their zone read and power read game. As far as that goes, they've got some big, fast receivers that they do a good job of getting in mismatches and getting in one-on-one situations. Overall, this is one of the better teams in the country, and we have to go to their place, and they've been playing extremely well at home.
Questions?
Ricardo said one of the big emphasis for you guys during the bye week was being able to run on the perimeter. Is that just something you guys noticed when you went back and evaluated? Or?
Yeah, that was one of those things that, compared to the year before, we just weren't getting the production on the edge like we did the year before. So just tried to really make that a point of emphasis, and I thought for the most part our guys did a good job of that the last game.
Gus, on the final play of Saturday night's game, what happened there with the miscommunication with Montrevis being on?
Yeah, that was the same thing we worked on, that Thursday. And of course, that's my responsibility, making sure that we don't have 2 guys with the same number, and we'll do a better job in the future.
Coach, you said, you were stressing a little that it's at their place. It seems like this year in the SEC, more so than maybe in the past, because maybe there's some even play across the playing field, but being on the road versus being at home, talk about why there seems to be such a battle.
That's a good question. I know in ours case, we've faced the #1 team in the country on the road and the #11 team country in the road. So a lot of it has to do when you on the road how talented they are and how good they are. At least in our case, and of course we're facing one of the top 10 teams again on the road. So in our league in the past, it's been tough no matter how talented or how good they are in our league to go on the road and play. This year, and on our side, just about every team is extremely talented, and I think every team is good. So, that probably has a lot to do with it.
The slow starts on the road, what is it? Is it just are the guys maybe paying too much attention to the atmosphere? Or?
Well, the last game we turned the ball over the very first 2 plays of the game. So I don't think the atmosphere really had much to do with that. It's just we got off to a bad start. We put ourselves in a hole, and before we looked up, it was 21-0. It was kind of one of those uphill battles, as far as that goes. And you look at the Kansas State. I think everybody's figuring out how good they are and how good their defense is. And that probably has something to do with it too.
I just got read a couple weeks ago. How important is that connection between you 2 on the road and before the drives and that kind of thing to be on the same page?
Yeah, it's very critical. And like I said, we've been together a long time and know how each other think and all that. And that definitely helps in certain situations.
You spoke a lot after the game and last night about getting your edge back and the importance of running the ball. Can that coexist with being balanced, which was the big emphasis this offseason?
Well, remember, being balanced is being good at something, and then they try to take away that certain thing, and then you're able to throw the ball and when they present that and be effective. So, to be a good offense, you've got to have strengths. You've got to be good at some things, and then when they stop those things by taking chances maybe with an extra guy, you've got to have a complement to do that. And so that's what I mean by balance. So I think we're getting better. We were more efficient in running the football and playing with pace, and so that's at least we're taking the right step. Put it that way.
Gus, in most of your career, some of your teams have gotten better. Your good teams have been a good bit better at the end than in the beginning. Could you just talk about that process and is this team on that track?
Well, that's been the plan, from day one, and we're going to need to have that happen. We're playing really the meat of our schedule now with 3 top 10 teams on the road, which I don't know another team in the country that's doing that. So, you know, that's the plan. Our guys really did a great job of that last year. You know, I feel like in areas we are improving, and that's gonna be our big challenge, you know, the rest of the half.
Could you just talk about what the key is to being able to do that, not just this year, but?
You know, I think it's all players. I mean, coaches, they all say the same thing, you know, but it's players really buying into that and finding a way that, to not lose sight of the little things, to figure out a way to take it 1 week at a time, not look ahead, and, not get mentally tired. You know, that's a big factor. College football is such a grind mentally with, everything that goes with it, and the special teams have a way to not get tired mentally.
When we think of Hugh Freeze, typically think of offense. Is this how good is this defense? Is best one you've seen with Ole Miss since you've been?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'd say it's the best defense that, you know, Ole Miss has had, at least that I've went against, and they've had some pretty good ones when I was a coordinator here before. They're extremely fast. I think they're very good up front, and, they've got speed everywhere, and I think they're good tacklers, so, you know, this is one of the better defenses in the entire country. There's no doubt about that.
Are you surprised at just the amount of talent that they've been able to pile up in these first few years of Hugh Freeze and how far they've come along?
Well, I mean, Hugh is, I mean, he's really good at what he does. He's a great coach, he's a great communicator, he's got great vision. You know, so it doesn't surprise me, because he's one of the best at what he does.
When you're going up against a secondary with Cody Pruitt, who's, I know I'm just hurt, but nevertheless, when you're going up against him and Senquist Golson, who's leading the country in interceptions, how does that change and affect how you plan to go about attacking?
Well, each week strategically, I mean, you're trying to put your guys in the best situations possible. When you play a very talented defense where they have a lot of strengths, it just comes down to you got to be able to execute, and you know, that's what they make you do. Their defense does a great job of making offenses execute on a consistent basis, which is extremely hard to do, and they don't give up a lot of big plays. They do a good job keeping things in front of them. And like I said earlier, the big thing that stands out to me is they get turnovers. And that's going to be a big factor.
How concerned are you about the pass rush, offensive pass rush right now?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need to improve in that. There's no doubt. You know, and our coaches are still working on that, you know, with different things. At times this year we've had good pass rush, and other times we hadn't. But, you know, that's going to be a big factor, you know, moving forward in these next 5 games.